Next thing you know, I'm running a full call center. There's literally three steps. If you want to take a pen and a paper and write these three steps down, I'll walk you through it. Number one is VA. Number two is a dialer. Number three is you need data. They must have pre-existing experience calling for real estate in the thing that you're doing, right? Cold calling for real estate is way easier than you think. Like usually you're just sniffing around for motivation. We're talking about $1,000 to $1,200. Okay, so that's what you should budget for labor. You don't want to be making these calls one at a time. It's horribly, horribly inefficient and super, super slow. The definition of a predictive dialer is something that can call more than one line at a time, but a good predictive dialer will call 10, 20 plus lines at a given time. So sometimes one of the best things that you can do when it comes to lead acquisition is just think outside of the box and go somewhere where other people aren't. You've got to stop fishing in the same pond as everybody else.
Hey guys, JJ here, back with another Saturday of Zoom networking. Got a really awesome guest speaker for you and a really awesome topic. I think you guys are going to love this. Our guest speaker today, just a really nice guy. He like the rest of us, started out in a real estate education program as a student. Eventually became an investor, now a very successful entrepreneur. I'd like to introduce my good friend, Peter Roth. Peter, how are you?
I'm really good, man. How are you? Thank you for having
I'm
me here.
great.
Yeah, I come from the lead generation space, right? So that's my primary bread and butter is generating leads for multiple different industries. So I've become so jaded to what the definition of a lead is that now, I don't even consider, we book and generate appointments for multiple different industries where my call center team will actually go out there and book appointments for you. I don't even necessarily call that a lead. Sometimes that is just even a pre-booked appointment for me is sometimes barely even a lead because it could so quickly turn into a no-show and it can fizzle out so fast.
Hmm.
So you get my idea. I've become pretty jaded to what the definition of a lead is. I've become pretty strict as to what the definition of a lead is. So for me, anything that, hasn't expressed a large degree of interest in something, that's just a data record. To me, that's just a person. That's not even a lead yet. I think as you become more discerning with what your definition of a lead is, you start to become much more diligent and much stricter with yourself and what your
Okay.
standards are. And then you'll find your lead quality really goes up because you found out that it wasn't even a lead in the first place. It was just a data record. The call center came before real estate. So I was already doing call center work and I had a little bit of spare time, a little bit of spare money. And so I've always kind of wanted to get into the real estate side of things because I needed a place to park my money. And then realized, oh, I'm kind of sitting on a pretty big gold mine here with this call center thing because it's a lead generation machine for really most industries, right? I mean, fill in the blank of whatever industry you're in, it applies. Anything where a cold call makes sense, call center can save the day. So I was fortunate, right, that I had that already at my disposal. So that came first. The real estate came second.
And what industry had you started call centers with if it wasn't the real estate industry?
The home services space. So I have a really funky background. So I started off in the cigar business and I'm still in the cigar business. So I started off in the cigar business, opened up a really high-end cigar bar here in the Denver market and ran that for like 15 years. Also ran retail cigar stores, and also an online, online wholesale cigar distribution company, which I still own today. And when I got out of the retail side, the customer facing side of the cigar business is when I got into the home services space. So I started an HVAC company and realized really quickly it was really hard to get leads, especially as a brand new company. I didn't have anything existing already in a pipeline. I had no pipeline. So I needed to start from scratch. And this was like, 10 plus years ago. And the lead generation space just really wasn't as developed as it is now. Now there's more opportunity, there's more options now. And I just didn't have that. So I really had to kind of figure it out on my own. And slowly but surely, it just kind of naturally developed into that sort of a thing. It's like, started getting list of homeowner data, would have one or two people call it. And then, just slowly but surely started to realize, I needed to start developing this thing and maturing it a little bit in order for it to really work at high efficiency. Next thing you know, I'm running a full call center. And
Wow.
then that then turned into a solar company, which now turned into a full-on marketing company. So now, I do this, for a lot of different industries, not just I just love doing it with real estate because it just kind of strikes, home near and dear to me. So I just like the
Wow.
community a lot. And I just like helping people, especially if it's in an industry that I've already done, then I'm really passionate about it because then I know I can actually help you. There's three steps, guys. There's literally three steps. If you want to take a pen and a paper and write these three steps down, I'll walk you through it. You need a setter, call it whatever you want. Call center agent, setter, VA, fill in whatever term you want to use. It's all just semantics at that point. So you need a setter, call it a VA, whatever you want to call it. Number one is VA. Number two is a dialer. Number three is you need data. You call it leads, I call it data. To me, it's not a lead. Once we've gotten interest from them and they're really interested, then it's a lead. But okay, recruit, dialer, and leads. You don't need to pay a company like me to do that. So step one is go get yourself a VA. There's a million places. JJ, you probably even know better resources than I do of where to get a good VA. But what my only tip, my advice for you is do not hire someone that doesn't have pre-existing experience. They must have pre-existing experience calling for real estate in the thing that you're doing, right? And
Yeah.
cold calling for real estate is way easier than you think. Like usually you're just sniffing around for motivation, right?
Yeah,
You want
no,
to sell? Yes or
that
no?
is that's
I mean,
crucial. I know what my I was very fortunate. My VA Bell is well, I was fortunate that she had already been engaged with two other investors
mhm.
who were very successful investors. And so I didn't really need to vet her because I know the people that she was working with for a lengthy period of time had gotten to the point where she was qualified. So yeah, I agree with you entirely. Making sure that person has some experience is crucial.
Yep, I agree. So go hire yourself a VA. There's a million resources. I am honestly not an expert in those. There's that one really good one, JJ. You probably know what it is. It's like onlinejobs.ph. I think I got that
I
right.
wouldn't know. Once I
You
found
may want
Bell, I
to
closed
write that
that
down,
door.
guys. It's a aggregator website. It's like a job posting website for Filipino VAs. And they're great for this. Filipino VAs are really fantastic for this. They're extremely polite, they're extremely friendly, very, very professional. So I think Philippines is great. If you're going to look for two countries to hire people from, I'll just tell you right now, having been in the call, yeah, Bell just posted onlinejobs.ph. There you go. There's the website. And I've hired people from there, and it's a really good people have to post, they have to really, really be very transparent and post all their skill sets and all of their entire resume. I mean, it is really, really detailed. So it's a great, great resource. And there's other ones too. Like that doesn't have to be your main one, but that is a really good one. So countries to hire from that I would recommend. This is important when you're hiring a VA. Where you hire them from, I think is very, very important. To all my Indian friends on this Zoom chat, I apologize to you right now. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but it's not the best country to hire from. India and Pakistan. I love you guys. I love working with you guys when it comes to like tech support and tech work and all kinds of. Oh, did my camera just freeze up on you guys? Am I
Uh,
frozen?
just a little bit, but it'll snap back, I'm
I'll
sure.
turn it back off and back on again. There we go. Those countries, unfortunately, American ears just respond differently to different accents, and Indian and Pakistani accents just have a very high hang-up rate, right? So I'm just stating the facts. It doesn't hope that doesn't come off sounding wrong, and I apologize
Yeah.
if it does, but it just is what it is. Whereas just about every other country doesn't seem to have that issue. So Philippines is great, and all of Latin America, and anywhere in Latin America, South America, Central America, Mexico, you name it, all of those countries are fantastic, super, super high quality. So that's kind of, I think, or in Egypt as well. So I would focus my efforts on Philippines, Egypt, and anywhere in Latin America. And if you have someone that you already know and trust and you're confident in them, then hallelujah, do that. Okay, so step one is hire a VA. VAs should earn anywhere between like in Egypt and Philippines. They earn typically for someone who speaks perfect English, $5, $6 an hour, somewhere around there. And then Latin America, $6 to $8 an hour. So still very, very reasonable. Okay. So there's your recruit, right? So now just do the math based on their month, their first month's worth of wages. We're talking about 1,000 to 1,200 bucks. Okay. So that's what you should budget for labor. Okay. Step two is the dialer. A dialer, here's what you need for a dialer. It must be a predictive dialer. Write that down. Predictive dialer. You don't want to use what's called a power dialer, and you definitely don't want to use your cell phone. So you don't want to be making these calls one at a time. It's horribly, horribly inefficient and super, super slow. So you need a really high-powered auto dialer, and these are called predictive dialers. What that mean, what a predict the definition of a predictive dialer is something that can call more than one line at a time. But a
Oh,
good predictive dialer will call 10, 20 plus lines at a given time. So it's literally blasting, it's making 20 calls all at the same time. And the way that it works is that whoever answers the phone first, it disconnects everybody else and it connects to that person right away. And then when that call ends, it'll call back in reverse. In order of who got disconnected first. It'll call them back right away. So it calls back all those people that you accidentally disconnected on.
cool.
So a predictive dialer is available to anybody. This is not some high-tech, super fancy, complicated solution that like only techie people. No, nothing like that at all. Number two is the dialer. That will cost $250 a month. Okay, and that's everything, everything, everything included. No surprises, no nothing after that. Yvonne asked a question, how will AI disrupt? I will address that in just a second, Yvonne, I promise. Let me write it down so I don't forget. AI. For Yvonne, I will address that. Okay. So the dialer's about $250. That's net, 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 everything all included. No other surprise costs after that. That is important. That's really, really important. And then number three is just data, leads, right? Whatever you guys want to call it, leads, right? You need to load up numbers for your VA to call. And that's wherever you want to go, right? We sell that stuff. You don't have to come to me for it. It's not necessary. You can go to PropStream, batch leads, wherever your favorite lead source is, go there. Now, leads are leads, right? We all know this. We've all called leads, and we all know that the problem is we're all buying the same leads, all of us, right? We're all getting them from the same place and calling the same numbers and just beating the garbage out of them. So get creative, guys. Don't all buy your leads from the exact same source because that's really a problem because you think those people aren't annoyed as hell from getting all your calls. They've gotten every call from everyone under the sun. They've all heard every single story imaginable. So sometimes one of the best things that you can do when it comes to lead acquisition is just think outside of the box and go somewhere where other people aren't. So get outside of your usual comfort zone of PropStream and batch leads and blah, 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 and go find different lead sources. Even if you don't necessarily know if they're awesome, just start off with a small batch, throw 50 or $100 at it and see what happens. It's such a small risk. You might as well give it a shot because for you guys that are keeps just throwing money at PropStream and batch leads over and over again, you and everyone else is doing the same thing. You've got to stop fishing in the same pond as everybody else. Okay, so leads, $100, whatever, $200, go drop a couple $100. But the recruit thing is very important. So you guys do need to spend time working with your VA. You should definitely spend a lot of time working with that VA and training them. And the best way to do it is really just listen to their calls. Ready Mode, the software that I recommend for most people, and really almost any good quality predictive dialer, will have the ability to go back to listen to calls. In fact, they even have the ability to listen to calls live. So you can literally get on your computer and listen to your VA talking to folks like in real time. So you want to do that. That's really the most important thing is for you to be super, super involved and listen to these folks as they're talking and just be able to give them tips every single day. The more involved you are with them and the more that they know that you're involved with them and you're not an absentee owner, the faster this thing will get off the ground really quickly. So I mean, I've seen people get this dialed in really, really quickly in the matter of like 2, 3 weeks, and I've seen people take three. I've seen people never get it dialed in because they're just not that invested into it. Who here is a student of sales? Like who here identifies themselves as a real student of sales? Like you read sales books and take sales training, coaching programs. Who, by raise of hand, who does that sort of a thing? Okay, who here has heard of Jeremy Miner? Okay, so Jeremy Miner runs a style of sales training called NEPQ, Neuro Emotional Persuasion Questioning. Really fancy for just asking questions that get people emotionally involved. How did that make you feel? Right, things like that, right? Questions that get people to bring out their emotional side. Why? Because sales is an emotional decision, right? It's not a logical decision, and especially when it comes to like dealing with people who are in a distressed environment, They're not selling their home because they have to. They're selling their home because they're late on bills, they've missed payments, whatever, right? And it's an emotional thing, and they're not happy about it. So, yeah, Mark, you're going to be dealing with a lot of pissed off people. That's normal. And the reason why I brought up Jeremy Miner is because he talks about how like we have to let go of the old way of selling, which is the ABC, right? The Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, always be closing, right? Coffee is for closers, right? That doesn't work anymore in this economy. People have gotten way too smart. We're well past that. Now you have to be way more subtle now. So I like what Jeremy did. He basically rebranded ABC to ABD, always be disarming, right? So you cannot get into a situation where you find yourself butting heads in a heated argument with the homeowner. You're not disarming them. You're actually making the situation a lot worse, right? So the most important thing is to always empathize, right? The ability to show empathy for a homeowner, because you have to assume they're in a tough spot. This isn't a business decision for them. They're not selling their home because they fucking feel like it. They're selling their home because they don't have a choice. And it's not the choice they want. So you have to show empathy, right? This is an emotional play. And so the more empathetic that you can be and the more you can disarm them, the less likely you are to turn this into a headbutting match. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first person who's told you that, cold calling for these types of leads, you're not so much a salesman as you are a therapist,
You
right?
are.
So start putting yourself in the shoes as a therapist and start thinking about, where these folks are coming from, and it's not pretty. And if you can kind of empathize with them, I think you'll find that the whole process is a lot smoother. So ABD, always be disarming. So I hope that helps, guys. There's the world's quickest blueprint. Get a VA, get a dialer, go get a batch of leads, go get started. Now you've got yourself the world's smallest call center.